My brother accused me of pretending to be disabled. He shoved me out of my wheelchair, yelling, "Get up!" But then my doctor spoke 5 words that silenced everyone. I later sued him for $120,000. At our family reunion, my brother Luke pushed me out of my wheelchair, shouting, "Stop faking it for attention." I collapsed onto the ground, and many relatives laughed. They didn't realize my doctor was standing right behind them. After a loud cough to get attention, he said the 5 words that stopped everything cold. My hands hit the pavement first, then my shoulder, and finally my head. The world tilted and stayed that way, but not enough to knock me out completely. I hadn't gone near the cooler, yet the backyard spun like I'd been drinking heavily. 45 people stared, some chuckling, some recording on their phones. Luke towered over me, holding 2 beers, his face flushed with self-righteous fury, chest rising and falling rapidly. He bellowed, "Quit pretending for sympathy," loud enough for the whole neighborhood to hear. I lay on my aunt's sun-scorched patio, the same old accusations ringing out. Jordan. One wheel of my overturned wheelchair kept spinning lazily in the July heat, lying 1.5 feet away. A searing pain shot up my spine as my right leg twisted unnaturally. Over the past 2 years, I'd grown used to this kind of agony. The type that makes the edges of your vision go bright white. Around me, the reunion carried on like I was just a tipped-over lawn chair. Someone turned the country music louder. A kid dashed past, chasing a plastic baseball. The sharp, metallic taste of blood filled my mouth from biting my tongue, mixing with the smell of grilled hamburgers and fresh-cut grass. "Stand up, Jordan," Luke taunted, glee and triumph dripping from his voice. "Everyone's watching. Time to drop the act." I tried to push myself up. My arms shook. My palms were scraped raw against the rough concrete. Tiny pebbles were embedded in the flesh of my left hand, blood pooling around them like dark red jewels. Luke announced to the crowd, "Look at him trying," turning to our relatives like he was delivering closing arguments in court. That sealed it. Ever since the accident nobody actually saw, he's been milking this wheelchair scam for the last 2 years. My mom spoke up from the crowd, voice trembling and uncertain. "I was there." She sounded worn down by 2 years of gatherings exactly like this one. Luke clarified, "You found him at the bottom of the stairs." The crowd murmured agreement, suspicion. "That's not the same as witnessing it." My cousin Caleb, 23, still living at home and working part-time at an electronics store, stepped forward. "For all we know, he threw himself down on purpose." Heads nodded, whispers growing louder. "Bro, I saw him walking at the grocery store on Roosevelt last month. He was in the cereal aisle." Of course I knew about that. It was physical therapy. My voice came out smaller than I wanted, weaker than I intended as I spoke from the ground. "I told everyone about the outpatient program at Rush." "Yes, that was it." Luke interrupted, kicking my wheelchair so the metal frame rang like a gong. "Meanwhile, you've been collecting disability payments and living rent-free in Mom's basement for 2 years, playing Xbox, ordering Uber Eats on her card, living like a king while the rest of us work." "Because I can't work," I said. Luke's face was so close I could smell beer and barbecue sauce on his breath. "Because you won't work." My dad's younger brother, Uncle Michael, who sold insurance, drove a lease Lexus, and lectured everyone about personal accountability at every holiday, pulled out his phone and aimed it like he was documenting a crime. "There's a difference, little brother," he said smugly. "I'm recording this for proof. We've enabled this nonsense long enough. Someone finally had to call it out." I looked around for anyone who might help. My mom stood by the picnic table wringing her hands. My mom. Sister, Aunt Rachel, who organized this reunion and guilt-tripped me into coming after I tried to cancel 3 times, stood with arms crossed, lips tight in judgment. Grandma sat under the oak tree in her folding chair, fanning herself with a paper plate, watching me like I was a disappointing reality show. No one moved to help. The doctors said I started. Luke cut me off. The doctors said maybe. He was enjoying the performance now, playing to his audience. Maybe you'll walk again. Maybe it's permanent. Maybe. You've been living off maybe for 2 years while mom goes broke trying to fix you. Grandma piped up loud enough for everyone. He does look awfully cozy in that chair. Like he's been rehearsing. Because I'm in it 14 hours a day by choice, I muttered. Luke snatched my wallet from the jacket pocket I'd landed on and held it up like evidence. He flipped it open. See this disability card? $750 a month. Plus mom pays for everything else: rent, food, medical stuff, special gear. I have medical bills. My throat closed up. My hands shook. It's never just the fall, is it? Luke sneered, tossing the wallet at my chest. It hit and flopped open. My old driver's license photo stared up at me, the one where I was still standing tall for the DMV camera. The free ride ends today, Jordan. Right now. Some relatives actually started clapping. Luke clapped too, like he'd just given an inspirational locker room speech about grit and never giving up. Mom finally stepped forward, voice weak. Luke, that's enough. He turned gentle with her. No, Mom. He's draining you dry. Then listed everything: the thrice-weekly PT, the expensive equipment, the modified van she bought, the second mortgage she took out on the house she's lived in for 30 years. You're 62, Mom. You'll be paying that until you're 80. Mom's face went red. She didn't deny it. I hadn't known about the second mortgage. I never asked her to. You never stopped her either. Luke jabbed a finger at me. You just kept taking, kept bleeding her, kept playing victim while everyone else sacrificed. He crouched down, breath hot on my face. Quietly, viciously, stand up right now, or I'm calling the cops for disability fraud, insurance fraud, whatever sticks. You'll go to jail, Jordan. And honestly? Might be the best thing for everyone. I can't. My leg was screaming now, the kind of pain that meant something had torn or shifted, something that would cost weeks of therapy and thousands to repair. Then the whole family started chanting, stand up. Stand up. Stand up. 50 voices, maybe more. Neighbors had come to their fences to watch. Kids held up phones. Aunt Rachel led the chant like a cheerleader, clapping on beat. There was nothing I could do but lie there. Because it had been 24 months since I'd had full feeling in my right leg. Because certain movements were impossible with the titanium rods fused to my spine. Because every accusation, every cruelty, every drop of venom came from ignorance and unwillingness to learn the truth. Luke grabbed my shirt collar and hauled me halfway upright. I'm done watching you manipulate everyone. You're a liar, a fraud, and a... That's my patient. You're assaulting him. The chanting died instantly. Everything stopped. Luke's grip loosened but didn't let go. A man stepped out of the crowd. Mid-50s, Asian, khakis and navy polo, wire-rimmed glasses, holding a Diet Coke. Calm, composed, like he'd been watching the entire show, which he had. Luke dropped me. I hit the concrete again. Who the hell are you? Luke demanded. The man took a sip. Dr. Samuel Hayes. Another sip. Jordan's spine surgeon, among other titles. A dog barked a few yards away. Burgers sizzled. The Bluetooth speaker still played country. I'm also his physical therapist, his pain management specialist, and I coordinate with his neurologist, Dr. Emily Carter at Northwestern. I've treated Jordan since roughly 48 hours after his accident 2 years ago. Aunt Rachel gave a nervous laugh. Well, doctor, you must be so proud. Your patient apparently walks just fine when no one's looking. Dr. Hayes smiled without warmth. Actually, he said, pulling out his phone, I have something the whole family should see. He held it up. X-rays filled the screen. He zoomed in. This is Jordan's lumbar spine L4 and L5. See these 4 titanium rods and 14 pedicle screws? I placed them myself 14 months ago at Rush. 7-hour surgery. 6 months recovery. Silence. Jordan can stand briefly in PT using a walker because we are carefully retraining his body for short distances. He can currently manage about 50 yards before neuropathic pain forces him to stop. That's roughly 5 minutes of mobility. After that, the damaged nerves fire incorrectly. Imagine a cattle prod and hot nails driven into the leg simultaneously. He swiped to another image, pointed to a dark patch. Right sciatic nerve. Irreversible damage. Limited proprioception, chronic pain, risk of sudden collapse without warning. The $3,500 custom brace helps stabilize, but it is not a cure. There is no cure. This is permanent. Caleb had already slunk away toward the house. Dr. Hayes kept his voice level, clinical. Every single day is painful. Every step is uncertain. That wheelchair is not a choice, it is necessity. He raised the phone higher so everyone could see. Swiped again. This video was recorded about 8 minutes ago, from the moment I arrived at this charming family event. He pressed play. Luke's voice boomed from the speaker, pushing me, the laughter, the chants, the moment I hit the ground. Quit faking for attention. He let it run 30 seconds, then paused. I have everything, he said calmly. The assault. The verbal abuse. The mob humiliation of a disabled man by his own relatives. He looked at Uncle Michael, whose phone was still recording and now shaking in his hand. You're not the only one collecting evidence today. Thank you for your contribution. I've added it to the file. Luke stumbled backward into the picnic table. We just thought. You didn't think, Dr. Hayes said, ice cold. You didn't ask. You didn't request records. You didn't speak to his doctors. You assumed he was lying because it was easier than accepting that sometimes terrible things happen and there's no villain to blame. He knelt beside me with the practiced gentleness of someone who'd done it 1,000 times. Can you move, Jordan? Barely. Pain level? 8. Maybe 9. He examined my leg carefully, face tightening. Likely ligament tear. Needs imaging. Someone get his chair. Now. Mom was the first to move, tears streaming silently as she righted the wheelchair. Dr. Hayes lifted me with expert care and settled me back in. The crowd stood frozen. Some cried quietly. Most stared at the ground. Grandma had stopped fanning herself. Dr. Hayes rose and addressed everyone. I'm here today because Jordan invited me. He knew this confrontation was coming. He's heard the whispers, read the Facebook comments, endured the jokes at holidays. He knew his own family didn't believe him. And he was right. He pulled a business card from his wallet and handed it to Luke. So he asked me, the surgeon who opened his back and fused his spine to prevent total paralysis, to attend, to observe, and to document. Luke stared at the card like it might explode. That's my attorney, Jennifer Wu, partner at Kirkland & Ellis, specializing in disability rights litigation. Tomorrow I file a police report for assault on a disabled person and a civil suit for battery, assault, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. My testimony, backed by 2 years of medical records, imaging, and progress notes, should be quite persuasive. He glanced at Uncle Michael, now ashen. Your video helpfully documents conspiracy to intimidate a disabled individual with threats of fraudulent criminal charges. Already saved. Then to the entire crowd, every person who chanted, who laughed, who filmed, who stood by and watched a disabled veteran be attacked by his brother, every single one of you is on camera. He let that land. I wonder how that will play in court. Or on the evening news. He turned back to me, placed a steady hand on my shoulder, and said softly, let's get you to the car. We're done here. And with that, Dr. Samuel Hayes wheeled me away from the ruined reunion, past the silent, shattered family who finally understood, too late, that some things can't be faked. At a family event, his relatives turned on him, convinced he was pretending. Local TV channels love dramatic tales like this. Luke started it, claiming he's no veteran. Army National Guard from 2016 to 2020. Honorable release. Health files are linked to the VA network, turning this into a possible national matter. Dr. Hayes's grin was sharp and knowing. Were you aware that harming a disabled former service member can lead to stiffer punishments? Jordan invited me to this gathering last week, and I only learned about it when my attorney explained the details. Total silence fell. The hamburgers were charring on the barbecue. Nobody moved to flip them. My wallet lay on the pavement as Dr. Hayes passed it back to me. He then took hold of the wheelchair handles and positioned himself behind. "We're heading out now," he announced. "I'll note Jordan's ER trip as an injury from the attack. The lawsuit will cover those hospital costs. His leg brace got damaged. Add another $3,500. The wheelchair structure is warped. That's $2,500 more. We'll add it all together." He started guiding me toward the driveway. Behind us, the 45 relatives stood in their circle, frozen. The same group who had shouted for me to stand, called me a fraud, and supported my brother as he shoved me, now realizing they'd been caught on film committing multiple serious crimes against their own kin they'd accused of faking a condition. "Hold on," Luke called out, voice cracking. I didn't look back. "Hold on, Jordan. I'm sorry. I had no idea." We had no idea. Dr. Hayes kept moving. We reached the van, a customized Honda Odyssey with a lift ramp, bought by my mom through that extra home loan. "Jordan, please." Dr. Hayes smoothly helped me into the front seat, folded the chair, and stowed it in the back. He got behind the wheel and turned the key. Luke dashed to my side and tapped on the glass. I stared at my sibling, the one I'd roomed with for 15 years, who'd shown me how to pedal a bicycle, who'd stood as best man at my wedding before the split, and who'd just knocked me from my chair before our whole clan because he assumed it was all an act. "Jordan, please, I'm sorry." I cracked the window a couple inches. "You want to hear the hardest part?" I said softly. Luke nodded desperately. "After my procedure, I reached out 3 times by phone, left messages, sent texts, asked you to join me at appointments to hear the diagnosis directly. You ignored it all. You chose to label me a liar without ever seeking facts. You preferred to see me as a cheat rather than injured." I just shook my head. I closed the window and added, "You didn't bother to think?" That's the core issue. Dr. Hayes pulled out of the drive. The ER at Northwestern Memorial was busy for a Sunday evening. Dr. Hayes navigated me through check-in, chatted with Dr. Rebecca Martinez, the on-duty doctor he knew from professional meetings, and got me into a room within 20 minutes. X-rays of my right knee showed a torn lateral collateral ligament. Surgery set for Wednesday. Another delay in the long, painful journey to reclaim some mobility, plus 6 more weeks of healing. While waiting for the bone specialist to review the scans, Dr. Hayes stayed by my side. I asked, "Why did you truly show up today?" He paused for a moment. Then said, "Because for 27 years I've cared for folks with back injuries, and I've seen relatives tear themselves apart over it. Seen them split apart, seen supporters exhaust themselves, seen those with disabilities get left behind because it's simpler to think they're pretending than to face that existence can be unfair and harsh, with no one at fault sometimes. So you came to back me up in proving them mistaken." I came to record the facts. He adjusted his frames. The police report went in Monday morning. What they choose to do with those facts is up to them. But now they can't pretend not to know. Tuesday afternoon, I got a ring from Detective Luis Gonzalez of the Northbrook PD, a 23-year veteran skilled in assault investigations. "Mr. Thompson, I've gone over the footage. Dr. Hayes' account, the health files, this is straightforward. Your brother shoved you from your chair, leading to further harm. That's enhanced assault on a person with a disability. Class 2 felony charge. What's next? We'll put out a warrant. Arrest likely, court appearance in 48 hours or so. With the setup and video proof, the prosecutor will probably move forward even if you step back." I hesitated, saying, I don't know what I want." "You don't need to pick now. But Mr. Thompson, groups like yours don't shift without real fallout. True repercussions. Court-based ones." He was spot on. I knew he was right. But Luke was still family. Luke got picked up Wednesday morning, out on bail by afternoon. Thursday, his lawyer called a guy from his fitness center who dealt with injury suits. My client hopes to say sorry, fix this. If you'd consider dropping it, I'm not filing charges. The state is. Speak to them. Understood. But if you said it was a mix-up, it wasn't a mix-up. It was an attack caught on several devices, seen by 45 folks. No gray area. He's your kin. He knocked me from my chair because he figured my condition was fake. That's not kin-like. That's illegal. I hung up. Friday, the civil case got launched. Dr. Hayes linked me to Jennifer Wu, a 54-year-old Harvard alum with 22 years in rights for the disabled. She faced me in her city center office with a view of the Chicago River. We're going after Luke for physical harm and deliberate emotional harm. But there's more to this. How so? Your Uncle Michael, Aunt Rachel, all who joined that cheer, they built a toxic setting. They teamed up to bother and scare you. That's claimable under laws for the disabled. You mean sue my whole clan? I mean deliver a lesson. Jennifer leaned in. I've handled hundreds of these, Jordan. Relatives convinced the impaired one is bluffing, then abuse them. It's commoner than you'd guess, and it rarely ends positively because the impaired person is isolated, money-dependent, scared to lose their circle. So they stay quiet. They endure. She nodded. But you've got what most lack. You've got health proof. A doctor ready to speak up. Video records. The chance to go public and shift the story. I just needed them to trust me. Jennifer's smile was keen. They trust you now. The piece hit local broadcasts that weekend. Brother attacks disabled ex-soldier at reunion. Doctor captures it all. By Monday, clips spread online. Not the full version. Dr. Hayes blurred just Luke's and my faces. But plenty. Luke's shouts, the group cheers, the push, the tumble. 2.5 million watches by Tuesday. National outlets picked it up by Wednesday. By Thursday, morning shows like Good Morning America sought chats. I refused them all. I didn't want fame. I wanted respect. Luke's world crumbled well before his court date, set 5 months out. In a week, his employer, a building firm big on safety and adjustments for disabilities, let him go. Risk issues, they said. His partner left, citing inability to date someone who mistreats the impaired. Buddies stopped reaching out. The clip haunted him everywhere. He'd search his name forever, in job hunts, online dates, new contacts. Luke Thompson, the guy who shoved his impaired brother from a chair. 3 weeks post-event, Mom phoned. He's sleeping in his vehicle, she said. Evicted from his place. No job prospects. Jordan, he's family. Can't you intervene? Chat with the DA. Say drop it, call it a confusion. It wasn't confusion. Mom, he aired. He attacked me, already impaired, before 45 witnesses. That's no error. That's a decision. So you're set to wreck his existence? Your sibling? I pondered deeply. No, I finally said. I'm letting him face results of his choices. Big difference. She disconnected without farewell. 4 months on, we settled. Luke pled guilty to enhanced violence, 2 years probation, service hours, rage control sessions, and a hanging jail term if he slipped. The civil deal, $120,000 covering health fees, emotional damage, ongoing care, and penalties. Luke'd pay it off lifelong. On settlement day, Jennifer Wu rang. You succeeded, she said. Doesn't seem like success. It seldom does. But you signaled to your relatives, to watchers, that impaired folks count. Attacks bring fallout. You can't just knock someone from a chair because their pain annoys you. He chose his path, you just captured it. 6 months later, I bumped into Luke at therapy, the same rush outpatient spot where cousin Caleb claimed to spot me strolling in the store. He waited in the entry, slimmer, aged oddly beyond his years, in a plain tee. He rose when he saw me, then sat again. I rolled closer. What brings you? Court-mandated service. I assist in rehab, aiding folks with movement drills. That's... I lacked words. That's positive, I suppose. Luke spoke quietly. I encounter many like you. Folks with back damage, nerve issues, constant ache. They seem okay outside but battle daily to keep going. He finally met my eyes. I'm sorry, Jordan. Truly sorry, I didn't get it. Didn't attempt to. I just picked that you were bluffing because it was simpler than admitting you were truly damaged. I know. Do you? His voice broke. Can you ever pardon me? I mulled it over. The 24 months of hurt. The clan meetup. 45-ish voices urging me up. Luke's face at the scan's reveal. The payout funding my care, van upgrades. My brother, now cardwelling after his downfall. At last, I said, I don't know. Try asking in a year. Luke nodded. Fair enough. A year later, Luke asked again. I'd shifted to Evanston for advanced nerve therapy, at a new clinic there. Luke had moved too. Got a place, rebuilding step by step, now a hired aide. Do you forgive? He said. This time, I knew. I forgive the lack of grasp, the skipped questions, the baseless liar label. I eyed him. But shoving me from that chair, shaming me before kin, picking meanness over kindness, that I don't forgive. Doubt I ever will. Luke nodded slowly. That's fair as well. But, I added. I notice your efforts. Helping others here. Learning more. Becoming someone who gets my daily fight. That counts. Does it alter much? It alters all. You're not that shover anymore. I'm not that shoved one. We're changed. Improved? Altered. I turned toward the door. But maybe altered suffices. 2 years post-reunion, Dr. Hayes suggested me for a talk at a Rights for Disabled event in Springfield. Hosts sought my tale, resisting, value of proof, kin who doubt. I almost passed. Then thought of chair-bound folks now facing clans calling them fakers, enduring same doubts, same meanness, same isolation. I agreed. 20-minute talk. Shared it all, the stairs fall, operation, rehab months, reunion clash, Luke's shove, Dr. Hayes's reveal, aftermath. Room went silent at end. Then applause erupted. Standing ovation from those who could, thunder in the hall. Post-talk, a woman in her 30s approached, also wheeled. MS, she said. My relatives think I'm pretending. Claim MS is fake, I'm just down, need more effort. Got health proof? 3 brain docs, scans, full set. Show them. Force the view. Make them see their blindness isn't your load. She teared up. What if they still deny? Then. Record it. Shield yourself. You count. Your ache counts. Your condition counts. Anyone rejecting that doesn't earn your presence. She hugged tight, held on. Pulling back, thanks for resisting. For proving it's doable. 3 years after, Mom called. Family aims for another meet, she said carefully. Thanksgiving, intimate, close kin only. Looks coming. They hope. We hope you'll join. Anyone saying sorry? Silence. I figured, Jordan, they regretted deeply. Regret differs from sorry. Differs from owning actions. Differs from evolving. She paused, voice soft. But maybe this time, things could be different. We've all learned. The video, the news, the settlement, it's changed us. I thought about it. The pain lingered, but so did the growth. Luke's work in rehab, Mom's quiet support in court, even Aunt Rachel's awkward holiday card last year admitting fault. Perhaps, I said. But only if everyone starts with an apology. Face to face. No excuses. Agreed, she whispered. We'll make it happen. That Thanksgiving, the small group gathered. Luke spoke first, eyes down. I'm sorry, Jordan. For everything. For not believing, for the hurt. Others followed, Aunt Rachel, Uncle Michael, Grandma, each owning their part in the chant, the doubt, the silence. Tears flowed. I nodded, accepting. It wasn't full healing, but a start. We ate, talked carefully, shared updates. No chants, no accusations. Just family, flawed but trying. In time, bridges mended slowly. Luke became an advocate, volunteering more, speaking at local groups about invisible disabilities. I continued therapy, gaining inches of mobility. Dr. Hayes checked in yearly, proud of the ripple. The viral clip faded, but the lesson stuck. Belief starts with listening, and consequences teach what words can't. Years on, at another reunion, bigger, but wiser, I wheeled in without fear. Laughter was genuine, support real. The twist? The family that once broke me now rallied around, stronger for the fracture. And in quiet moments, I forgave. Not forgetting, but freeing myself. Life moved forward, wheels turning smoother than before.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a twist. Stay tuned to Reddit Tales Times for your daily dose of drama, laughs, and unbelievable stories.